Kennedy Jr., he's got a lot of support amongst Democrats that they're not happy with Biden. He's also got some supports from Republicans that actually think he's a kind of a normal guy in terms of some of his policies. How do you get on that debate stage with Joe Biden?
Their official position is there will be no Democrat debates.
Unbelievable.
But if I had advice for Bobby Kennedy, and I really agree with his position on the vaccines, it's been my position all along, Brian. You know that. I have been totally against the COVID vaccines from day one, just as you have.
What's up, everybody? Major Retired Richard Ojeda here, and Marge the Trainwreck Greene calls him Bobby. Speaking to RSBN reporter Brian Glenn, Marge the Trainwreck Greene told a conservative audience at the Turning Point Action Circus that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was fooling Republicans into liking him with his anti-vaccine rhetoric and outrageous talking points.
Totally against the mask. As a matter of fact, I got fined every single day I stepped on the House floor because I refused to wear a mask, and Nancy Pelosi would fine me $2,500 every single time I stepped on the House floor without a mask. And I was like, fine, you go ahead and fine me. I could care less.
Marge seemed a little flustered that her little Bobby with his far left policies was taking up a little too much of her spotlight. Contempt for stealing the spotlight seems to be the common denominator for many in the GOP.
So I agree with Bobby Kennedy on a lot of things, but I tell you what, I think there's a lot of Republicans that have been fooled by him. He's not a Republican, everyone. He's very much a Democrat, and some of his policies are far left. They're not the policies I want. They should not be the policies that you want. But everyone does like some things about him, like his positions on the COVID-19 vaccine.
Marge and other GOP extremists agree with his COVID conspiracy, but in reality, Kennedy is under fire from Jewish groups. Kennedy has said that COVID was a bioweapon aimed to ethnically target Jews, blacks, and Chinese people. His comment drew condemnation by groups like the American Defense League.
And we need to talk about bioweapons. I know a lot now about bioweapons because I've been doing a book on it for the past 2.5 years, and COVID-19 is targeted to attack Caucasians and black people. The people who are most immune are Ashkenazi Jews and Chinese.
His comments were deemed xenophobic and anti-Semitic across social media, but this is what Marge is agreeing with. So much so that she basically seemed to gush over Kennedy when talking about him to Brian Glenn. And Glenn didn't stop, interrupt, or contradict anything that the Georgian Neanderthal said, and appeared to be in full agreement with everything that came out of her nasty pie hole.
But I think that's the Democrat Party. I could care less about them. I think they should be more concerned about Gavin Newsom, because we do not want the United States of America to be anything like California, and that's the guy that wants to run for president.
Yeah,
and he's the one to be worried about.
Yeah.
But just as quick as Marge gushed over RFK Jr., she two-timed him for Gavin Newsom. Greene and Glenn both threw Kennedy under the bus and said that Gavin Newsom was the one Democrat to fear. Marge said that she is opposed to making the country like California, a direct insult to everyone in the Golden State. What is it, Marge? You don't want your poor district in Georgia to enjoy anything that people in California do? What could people in California be enjoying so much that you want to keep it out of Georgia? In California, Gavin Newsom has pushed the largest economic stimulus, put limits on police use of force, expanded an anti-poverty program, and ended the death penalty for now. Marge the Trainwreck Greene is a hypocritical moron who wants to take the country backwards and do it while laughing her way to the bank. She misrepresents the facts and speaks to a crowd that doesn't know the difference between indicted and indoctrinated. The Turning Point Conference was a 3-ring circus that brought the likes of Roger Stone and Donald Trump to town. On the stage, we saw Lauren Boebert throw her own constituents under the bus on gun measures, while on the other side, not to be outdone, Marge the Trainwreck Greene vowed against progress for her poor district in Georgia. And as usual, members of the GOP failed miserably at representing the people of their own districts. Marge the Trainwreck Greene is a pathetic excuse of a human being, and that is an absolute fact. Sappers clear the way, airborne all the way.